Today we're going to make a changing table. There's a free pattern on the website. Look at the link below. But it's a really easy sewing pattern. So if you're a beginner sewer, don't be afraid. And it's vinyl on the inside. And I used upholstery fabric on the outside because I had leftovers, but you could just use cotton. So keep watching to see how. The first thing you need to do is go to Modern Homemakers, follow the link below in the video description if you're on YouTube, and print off your free pattern pieces. And there are 4 pieces, A, B, C, D. I know, I was really original in naming them. And on the first page, you'll see there's like a little mini grid that shows you how to attach them, but it's really complicated. A connects to B, to C, to D. I know, I'm making it hard here. And once you get those cut out, get them all lined up, and you're just going to use tape to tape them together. It's okay if you don't cut it perfectly. It's basically a big rectangle. There's a little change on the side here, but mostly a rectangle. And once you've got this taped, it's time to go grab your fabric. And you're basically going to be cutting, you're going to place this on the fold, but you're going to cut one out of some sort of cotton for the back. That's going to be the part that touches like the restroom floor or whatever. And so you want something with a pattern in it to hide grime and whatnot. And then we're going to use something like a vinyl. So go grab your fabric. So I've got this pinned on here, and right where it says place on fold, that's where your fold is. And this is probably about a yard of fabric. I'm just using stuff I have on hand, so sorry if that annoys you that I never say how much fabric to buy. Oh, my baby thinks I'm funny. Anyway, but that's what you're gonna do, and then just cut around that, and you only need one. I'm using some old upholstery fabric. Mom, if you recognize this, that you gave me this is like from eons ago. This is what her dining room looked like. It's long since been reupholstered in something else. Anytime someone offers you fabric, the answer is yes. Anyway, cut around. So my vinyl has been like sitting here forever, and it's all wrinkly. So what I'm gonna do is on a low heat with the iron, I'm gonna turn this over and start to try to work out some of those wrinkles. So you should test this on a small scrap. You don't want to do your whole cut that you've already made here and ruin your stuff. And just to show you, this is totally worth doing because I did here and I didn't do here. And you can see all these wrinkles that would have been in my finished project. So same thing for the vinyl that you're doing right here. You want to do the same thing for your other fabric. Iron it after you get it cut. So we're going to cut some Velcro. 2 inches long. I'm using pink because I have pink and it's awesome, but if you use whatever color matches your changing mat. And you need a rough and a smooth piece. Do not use your fabric scissors, use some other scissors. And doesn't really matter which one you sew in this step, but just make sure if you use the rough piece here, you use the smooth piece on the next step we do. But on your vinyl that you've already pressed and done all that stuff too, you're going to line this up. Measure here. It's basically, if you treat this like its own little rectangle, you're lining it up in the middle. So it's a little bit more than 1 inch from the edge on that way and more than 1/2 inch from the sides. But lining that up there, and we're just going to go stitch around that with a straight stitch all the way around. And then I'm going to zigzag twice. I'm a little excessive, but you're not going to be able to get at this to mend it after the fact. So we're just going to do a straight stitch all the way around. Which I already got a head start on you. Sorry. So I did all 4 sides, and now I'm going to switch to a zigzag, and I'm going to zigzag around 2 times. This is going to be the place that gets the most stress on your project. It's going to, the opening and closing, so we want to make sure it's as strong as we can make it. Might need to press the fabric again after this. And then one more time with the zigzag, just like we did. Princess fabric or your vinyl facing up, the pretty side of your cotton or upholstery fabric facing down. And what we're gonna do is line them up as close as possible, which depends on how straight you cut. I'm a little less than I'm impressed with my straightness factor here. It's not lining up perfectly. And then you're gonna pin all the way around, but on one of your sides, you're gonna take a moment and put your pins going to leave a space so you don't stitch through it. So slap your hand down. Basically, you need to be able to reach your hand in there to turn this inside out. So hand width right there, and then we're gonna pin the rest of the way around. As many pins as you need to feel that you've done an adequate job to keep it from moving around on you while you sew. We're back over here with the straight stitch again, and I'm going to start, remember where I put my hands and put the pins where I'm not going to sew? I'm going to start at this pin right here, and I'll end at the other pin that I'm not going to sew through. And we're going to line up, I think that my vinyl stretched or something when I ironed it, because it's just not the same size anymore. So I'm going to line up with my smaller piece here. Make sure your needle's in, turn it. You can see I've gone maybe half of an inch, a third of an inch into this before we do our turn here. And I'm gonna make sure my needle's in, pick it up and turn it. This is the most difficult part, is going around this small rectangle here. So, but you can do it. And we're always just lining that fabric up with the side of our presser foot. Make sure you don't sew over any needles. Needed to go a couple more stitches. Lined up again. Now we're past the hard part. Whew. Next thing we're going to do is put our hand in, and we're going to turn this inside out. I'm going to take my fingers and go on the corners, and if that's not crisp enough for you, we might have to take like a crochet hook or the end of a pencil eraser. And this. There's our little thingy. Ah, it's hiding on me. And we're going to go in and we're going to do a little bit of snips, because you can see this is kind of sucking back in on itself. So We don't have to take the whole thing out. We're just going to go right to this section. Don't cut all the way through your stitch. We're just going to cut a little next to it. Right where it makes that turn. We're going to go in and notch just a little bit. And that should make it lay flatter now. See how that made that lie flat? So, got that. And I'm going to fold over this section where we left it open. So it looks just like everything else around it. Put a pin there. So I put a pin on the side where we had the hole, where we used it to turn it. And you could use a fancy decorative stitch, but I'm just going to do a zigzag. And you're going to put it where, when you put down the needle, it's like almost going off the edge here. And we're going to zigzag all the way around. So I'll pause a second and show you. So you can see right here, the zigzag is right up to the end. And that's going to look real nice. So. Anyway, I won't make you watch that. I'll show you when it's done. Okay, you've zigzagged all the way around. And now we're going to lay it vinyl side up, just like you're going to change a diaper, to see where we're going to position our other piece of Velcro. So we're going to fold it in thirds. And then in thirds again. It's not an exact science here. I'm going to come back a little bit. I overshot it a little. And you're basically folding so you end up with this able to fold over. It's your little catch, basically. And once again, the great thing about this is that it's the size of like a receiving blanket. But you're not going to accidentally put this on the baby to cuddle up with like you would if you just keep a receiving blanket in there. Alright, so this right here would be in the right spot. So we're going to very carefully keep our thumb on that as we unfold here. Whew, it's quite the endeavor. So we can get a pin in it. And then we're going to double check it before we sew it. So, because that was a lot of moving and unfolding. So, in thirds, this is our last chance to make sure we really like that spot. And I still like it, so we're going to go for it. So we're going to do the same thing we did with all the other Velcro. Go straight stitch around and then 2 times with a zigzag. Looking for another easy or just cheap project to do for like a baby shower, or if you're having a baby yourself, go watch my crochet baby hat video. It's a free pattern as well, and it can be for a girl or a boy.